lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute, work hard for the car, so that's why it's all tinted. Wait a minute, had a real late night, woke up with my head spinning out in Nashville. It's been mad real, I need sunglasses, I need Advil. I like fake boobs, and my cash real. I like first place, you're in last still. Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.
Look, pocket rocket in my pocket, please don't make me pop it. All these boys just wanna copy the style, tell them niggas stop it. Whoa, it's my destiny, feeling like Latoya, like it found me my Beyonce, and she shotgun in the cockpit. Grinding with the team, making C notes. In my pocket still full of green, call it CeeLo. Alligator watch on me, Tim Tebow, and these haters love to watch me like Tebow. Look, I don't take L's, I just learn a lesson. Before I count the M's, always count my blessings. Look, I'm too short, never second guessing. Got some money, put up for the rain, so I'm never stressing.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east.
Okay, so I didn't actually bring my camera for this session, so I'm just going to recap what's happened. It's on my phone, so might look terrible quality. So that was my last super heavy squat and bench session until comp day. So that was technically my last heavy session, and it didn't go to plan, but I'm in a weirdly good mood about it. Like, my confidence has completely dropped this block, like completely dropped off. Like, I didn't really feel like myself. Like, even when I was warming up for squats today, like I really tried my best to approach it with a positive mindset, but like 150, my third warm up, felt so heavy. 165 after that felt so heavy. 180 felt, I mean, it felt just as heavy as the previous ones, but like it all just felt super heavy. So I'm actually not mad that I still managed to squat 195. Don't get me wrong, I shouldn't have gone for the second rep, but I didn't fatigue myself. Like, I quit before it got like, before I grinded too hard, if that makes sense. But I knew I probably didn't have the second rep, but I also know that because my warm-ups felt harder than they looked and everyone was cheering for me to go for a second, I was like, let's just go for it and see what happens. But I should have re-racked it and just trusted my instincts, but it's not the end of the world. I still squatted 195, which is matches my best ever squat. I've never squatted that in training before. I've only ever hit that once before at the British. So I know I can squat 195 kilos on my absolute worst day. And to be honest, it's kind of reaffirmed what I was thinking in terms of attempts for the day, to kind of go on opening a little bit lighter. So basically I'm probably going to just match my attempts from the British, but hopefully take a slightly bigger jump to my third. So I'm actually not upset really with how squats went. Like, obviously I'd like to have hit the double, but it's fine. Like, I know it, like, this is the worst, like, in terms of how my movement and pattern felt and everything. Like, squats haven't felt this bad in a long time, and it's been a rough a rough block. Like, my neck last week flared up so that my squats last week ended up being like massive overshoots. So I'm not, sorry, my arm's aching, I'm not too upset. Like, it is what it is. And then also you can so see how much dust is in my car right now. Bench, well, bench felt okay. Like, it felt okay. It didn't feel incredible. It didn't feel terrible. It just kind of felt okay. And 105 and 110 felt pretty much the same. I do have to confess, I was using one lower rack height than normal. Like, it didn't feel terrible. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just use this because it's the same as who I was sharing with, so it'd just be easier. That was a bit silly of me, because that definitely made the unrack feel a bit less natural. And to be honest, that pad felt a little bit worse than I remember it feeling. But again, I'm not making excuses. Like, my strength obviously just wasn't fully there today, and that's okay. Like, we all have days like that. And actually, I would rather that day be today than in 4 weeks' time. Like, I would rather that happen today than 4 weeks' time. So I'm actually in a weirdly fine mood with how things move today. I think bench just didn't really show up today, but I think it was more of a technical thing. And also, like, I don't know, I didn't approach the session with my normal confidence, which this always happens near comp. Like, my confidence just completely dips. So I think next block, I'll obviously talk through anything I'm going to do differently during the videos of next block, but I think next block I'm really just going to sandbag and get this fatigue gone. Like, this is the first time I've failed a squat in training in probably like 2 years. I might be off with that, but it's been a very long time since I failed a squat in training. Like, I've been hitting these huge PBs for blocks and blocks and blocks, and it was only a matter of time before that obviously kind of started to stagnate a little bit. And I don't think my strength is stagnating, don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's just one off day or like one off block, but I think I'm at the point where I need to maybe take slightly bigger jumps week to week, because my week 1 is still pretty heavy for me. So I think I'm not getting the recovery that I need for the rest of the block. So I'm probably going to just trial that for this next block. Normally I wouldn't want to change things on the block of comp, but because I've got 2 back-to-back comps that I'm doing, and because of the fact that this first comp, like both of these comps are low pressure, I've already qualified for the British in December. What I do in these comps doesn't really matter. It's more of like a pride thing and just having fun thing and just enjoying competing with low pressure. So I think trialing things, the time to do it is now. Like, the time to do it is now, sooner rather than later. So I'm probably going to trial slightly bigger jumps for the next block and just see how that goes. Bench, I think I'm just going to rinse and repeat what I've just done, because actually, like, I did feel strong today. Sorry, my phone is just not very comfortable to hold. I did feel strong today. That's not what I was going to say. Bench felt reasonably strong today is what I was going to say. I think when it got to the top end, I was very conscious of elbow depth. Like, my warm-ups, 70, 90, 100, they all felt okay, but I felt like I wasn't reaching elbow depth even close. So from there I started filming them, and then like my 105, I kind of dropped on my chest a little bit too much. 110, like my left shoulder kind of did something weird and felt a bit funky. It still moved quickly, but then obviously 115 I just messed up, and that's fine, it happens. But I think I'm fine with it. Like, it is what it is. I'm not going to really say much else on it, I don't think. Like, it was an okay session. I had an absolute mare last night in terms of stress. Like, yesterday was it was Good Friday yesterday, and I was so calm, so relaxed, having a really lovely day. And then Zuko started really being naughty, which is just because he wanted to play, but I had other stuff to be doing at the time. So like, it was just hard, and my stress was kind of rising. And then he kept jumping up the kitchen door. Now, our kitchen door is very sticky. Like, you have to really force the handle all the way down to open it for the latch to undo enough to open the door. And it is something that we've obviously got, well, we were always planning on sorting eventually, but it was fine. And it hasn't really gotten much worse since we moved in, maybe a little bit. But he was jumping up the kitchen door like a nut job. And when I then went to go in the kitchen about half an hour later, I couldn't get the door open. So I rang my dad, well, my parents, I FaceTimed them, and my dad was explaining to me what to do to try and get the latch open. And it didn't work. Like, I literally couldn't get the latch open. So he came around this morning while I'd already gone and fixed it. But like, last night, the stress level, I was then going outside to bench, which is why I was going in the kitchen anyway. So basically my stress levels just like skyrocketed, and I just felt like I was crumbling, and I felt so stressy, and it just wasn't good. And obviously it's not Zuko's fault at all, and like, it's no one's fault. Like, it's just one of those things that happens in like in an old house and stuff that wasn't really looked after before we moved in. Like, fine, whatever. And any other day I wouldn't have probably taken it so, like, I wouldn't have been so affected by it. But I also think it was a little bit of self-sabotage, because the last couple of weeks I've definitely started feeling a lot more stressy, which I do think is a pattern that happens for me on the lead up to comp as well. Like, I think anytime I've got comp starting to come up, I'm very hyper aware of the fact that I should be calm, I should be prioritizing athlete Sian, but I don't, and I end up being really stressy, and the smallest inconvenience makes me feel so much more stressed than what it normally would. Like, typically I'm pretty good at just brushing things off, but the last few weeks I haven't been. And the door was like the final thing. So last night I was so stressy. I also think as well, like, my steps have been really high the last couple of days. I say really high. They've been in the 10,000s the last couple of days, just because we're walking Zuko that little bit further now. But nutrition has been on point. Very good with my nutrition. Body weight was 85.8 yesterday, and it was 86 on the dot today. And I weighed myself quite like a little bit earlier today because I had to get here for this session. And also I ate my dinner quite late last night. So body weight is kind of ahead of schedule still. So that's really good. No, I'm in a good mood. Like, I know I'm going to do well at comp. Like, I'm still, like, if I can squat 195 on my absolute worst day, and to be honest, I probably had 200 today. I just obviously didn't pace myself for it, / that wasn't the plan, so I wasn't going to load it. So all is good. I did contemplate just loading 190 for a double because I hit 190 for a triple last block and my last one up at 180 today just didn't feel great. But then I was like, do you know what? I think confidence wise, I would rather hit 195 for a single. And if there's a second rep there, I'll go for it. But I was like, I'd rather just hit the 195, tick that off again, hit that in training and go from there. So anyway, that's what I'm going to say. Nothing else to really talk through. That was a little bit of ramble, but it's fine. Priority now is just obviously go home. Well, tonight it's just going to be chill out. I've got to do a food shop, but I forgot to do yesterday as well. But tonight I'm just going to like chill, relax, get some good food in me. And then tomorrow I'll write out the new block for comp/any. I'm going to make notes of changes that I think I want to make post this comp/post All England's, depending on what I want to do. But obviously I'll talk you guys through any changes that I make.
Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.